Om Sri Saram. Good morning, each and everyone. Saram to one and all. Today we have moved to class in about geographical impact on Indian history. In previous class, we have discussed on about account of foreign traders, changing nations of history, and themes in Indian history. So, further today we have moved to one more very important concept studied on about Indian history known as impact of geography on Indian history. The physical features of India, such as the Himalayas, northern plain, the desert, the mountain, and the Deccan Plateau, and the coastline, have helped and molded the development of different political units and cultures of India. The geographical setting and prehistoric culture of India. The history of any country or region cannot be understood without some knowledge of its geography. The history of the people is greatly conditioned by the geography and environment of the region in which they live. The physical geography and environmental conditions of a region include climate, soil type, water resources, and other topographical features. This, disa- this determine the settlement pattern, the population spread, food product, human behavior, and dietary habits of a region. The Indian subcontinent is gifted with different regions with their distinct geographical features which have greatly affected the course of its story. The history of Indian subcontinent at times include the present nations, namely Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, China, and Sri Lanka. The exact description of the extent of the subcontinent is found in Vishnu Purana. One of the slokas read, Uttaram at Samudrasya, Imadri Chaiva Dakshinam, Varsham Tad Bharatam, Nama Bharatiyatra Santati. It means the country that lies north of the ocean and south of the snowy mountain is called Bharata. There dwell the descendant of Bharata. So, the subcontinent is called by different names such as Bharatavarsha, Bharatakanda, Bharata, Jambudvipa, Hindustan, and India. So, the northern parts of the subcontinent was called Aryavarta, the land of Aryan. The southern part was called as Dakshinapata, the land of south. So, geographically speaking, the Indian subcontinent in ancient times included the present day India. On the basis of geographical diversities, the subcontinent can be broadly divided into different following main regions. These are the Himalayas, the river plain of North India, the peninsular India. The Himalayas separate India from the rest of Asia. It forms the natural barrier, protect India from invaders and the cold wind from the north. They have given birth to ever flowing North Indian rivers. These rivers have formed the most fertile northern plain. These plains were the cradle of different civilizations and empires. The richness and prosperity provided by the fertility of the land assured availability of basic necessities. It paved the way for the material, spiritual, and philosophical development of man. The great industrial civilization and Vedic culture developed in this region. So, the Himalayas are the world's largest and the highest mountain ranges. These are approximately 2,400 kilometers long. These ranges have not only checked invasions but have also protected us from the cold winds coming from north. They also stop the monsoon wind from the seas, which result in rainfall in the northern plain. However, there are some mountain passes which prove difficult, have provided access to determined invaders, traders, missionaries. This have helped in the developing cultural contact with Central Asia, China, and Tibet in ancient times. This passed through the Gomal, Bolan, and Khyber passes. The Greeks, Shaka, Kushana, Unas, and other foreign tribes reached India following this road. Geographically, the one more very important, the river plains of North India. The Himalayas also provide India with three river systems dominated by the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. These rivers made their respective regions fertile and attracted both settlers and invaders. The Indus plain include the regions of Punjab and Sindh, irrigated by the tributary of the river Indus. They form a vast fertile plain which have made the region the bread basket of the subcontinent. It is called so because this region is very important for wheat cultivation. The strategic location and richness of the Punjab region has attracted foreign invaders since ancient past. The Sindh region includes the lower Indus Valley and the Belt. It is Indus Plain which witnessed the development of an urbanized culture called the Harappan culture for the first time in the subcontinent. The Gangetic Basin receives more rainfall and is more humid than the Indus region. The Gangetic Plain is divided into three subregions. First one upper, second one middle, and third one lower. The upper plain of the river Ganga constitute the western and southern parts of the Uttar Pradesh. This region has seen active cultural development since the ancient period. This was inhabited by the Aryan in the later Vedic period, during which they practiced agriculture. And second one, the middle Gangetic plain, which is more fertile and has more rainfall, include eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. It is the region where Mahajanapadas, totally consisted of 16 Mahajanapadas like Kosala, Kasi, and Magadha, were established in the 6th century BC. The two main religions of India, called Jainism, it was founded by Vardhamana Mahavira, and Buddhism, founded by Gautama Buddha, also took their birth here. Entirely, the religious revolution continued from Middle Gangetic Plain. And third one, the lower Gangetic Plains constitute the Bengal region. Totally, it is one of the place for help to Britishers establish supremacy overall on India. Its northern part is irrigated by the Brahmaputra. The high rainfall in this region created dense forest and marshy land, which made it difficult for the development of settlement in the beginning. Totally, the development of the entirely Britishes or extended their territories with the help of the Bengal region called Lower Gangetic Plains. One more geographically, eastern India. Normally refers to the coastal plain formed by the river Mahanadi and other streams. The fertile coastal plain of this region helped in the development of agriculture, society, and culture. This came into contact with the Gangetic culture from the time of the Nandas and Mauryas around 1000 AD. Orissa began to develop her distinct linguistic and cultural identity. And one more geographically, the western India refers to the region of modern states of Rajasthan and Gujarat. It is known for its block soil, which is good for cotton cultivation. And one more that is known as the Thar Desert of Rajasthan. It was surrounded by semi-arid region, was not as fertile as the Gangetic plain. As a result, this region was not much favorable for cultivation, but it is famous for the domestication of camel is very important. So, in Rajasthan, totally they face a lot of unemployment and they need life for the poor and some type of the illiteracy people. They are founded at the place of Rajasthan. But Rajasthan is also the home of the Rajput clan. In Gujarat, the fertile plain of the river Sabarmati, Mahi, Narmada, and Tapti brought prosperity. And one more, a long coastal line to help Gujarat to develop contact with other countries through its ports. The most important seaport of this line has been Brugakacha or Bharuch or Broch. The peninsular India include the Deccan Plateau and the coastal plain of South India. The plateau is situated to the south of the Vindhya mountains. It is divided into three major regions which largely correspond to the modern states of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. The northern Deccan Plateau comprises of a part of Maharashtra, a number of Chalcolithic sites inhabited by people using copper and stone tools have been found in this region. Karnataka includes the southwestern Deccan. This region, with the availability of water and other resources, had been more suitable for human settlement than the northern part. The Rajur Dohab, for its rice cultivation, has been known as the rice bowl of South India. It has been the bone of contention between different kingdoms. These regions were inhabited right from the prehistoric time. The Deccan Plateau have turned the people into hardworking and warlike. The ocean of the south once stood as barrier, later served as means of connecting the rest of the world. They have helped to develop the commercial and cultural relations with the West. The geographical densities and zones within the subcontinent and existence of various races like Dravidian, Alpine, Mongolian, and different tribes have led to the development of different languages and cultures. The Plateau region also has hilly terrain in the western and eastern Ghats. The western Ghats rise sharply close to the western coast, tapering eastwards into the plateau. They are cut by a series of passes at Junnar, Canary, and Carle. These served as trade routes connecting the forts along the west coast. At the southern end of the Western Ghat is the Palghat Pass, which linked the west coast to the Kaveri Valley and played an important role into the Indo-Roman trade in ancient period. The Eastern Ghat merged more gradually into the plateau and the coastal plain. The coastal plain constitutes the states of Tamil Nadu in east and Kerala on west. In Tamil Nadu, the rivers are seasonal. As a result, the people of this region have depended more on the tank irrigation since the early times. However, Kaveri Delta has been the major region of human attraction. It provided opportunity for the cultivation of rice and witnessed the flourishing of the Sangam culture in the early historic period. Sangam, it means totally the group of poet or literary holder, that is known as Sangam. The ports such as Arikamedu and Kaveripattanam gave impetus to the Indo-Roman trade in early centuries of Christian era. The Tamil region evolved a distinct linguistic and cultural identity of its own. So, totally, India entirely influenced the rise and fall of many dynasties and growth of many religious, cultural, and commercial centers. Many varieties of mineral and rocks are available in abundance. The rocks and stones like sandstone, marble, and granite have helped the development of architecture like palace, fort, hill fort, etc. and also help in the development of sculpture. The big rock in the hill have helped to develop cave temples. Abundance of rain and favorable climate resulted in the growth of rich flora and fauna, excluding the Himalayas, hills, and desert, and the whole country falls in tropical climate zone. The atmosphere is conducive for all-round growth of man constituted in the country of India only. So, totally, these are all the different concepts and about impact of geography on Indian history. Today, class is over. Jai Saram. Thank you.